And a group of young Christian evangelists have taken to the center of the nation's capital to conduct a praise and prayer vigil for the country. They say they will keep praying until the election. One America's John Hines has the story from Washington.
Just a stone's throw from the U.S. Capitol, in a tent in the middle of the nation's mall, a group of Christian intercessory missionaries are singing and praying for America, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The organizer, Jason Hershey, standing by the tent, says he got the idea from King David in the Bible.
The reason why we call it David's tent is the biblical King David in the Bible, he actually set up a tent beside his palace. And for 33 years, he hired 4,000 musicians and 288 singers, and their full-time job was to sing to God around the clock as a love song to him 24/7. So we thought, hey, in our governmental city, in our nation's capital, let's go ahead and put up a tent here in Washington, D.C. on the National Mall.
Hershey says they have summoned worshipers from around the nation to come to David's tent and sign up to use the stage in 2-hour segments to keep songs of praise constantly going in Washington, D.C. On a recent morning, Hershey took to the drums while his fellow missionaries sang and played the keyboard. Hershey believes that America needs prayer and praise at this time.
Now, as a prayer for America, I certainly know that when we as a people turn our hearts to the Lord, He in turn, it's the gravity of prayer. What goes up must come down. He in turn does bless us. And I certainly think that our nation right now could use the Lord fighting on our behalf.
The prayers for America are being heard, at least in Edmond, Oklahoma, which is where Glenna Keck lives. Keck, who volunteers that she is a Christian and believes in the Bible, describes the experience of the tent.
It's full of worship, so when you walk in, I feel peace. And we've known about this, prayed into it from Oklahoma, and so to be here and experience it today, it's been a I would say a dream come true for us.
Worship, of course, is what David's tent is all about, and Hershey chose a very special date to start that worship here in the center of the nation's capital.
We started on September the 11th, 9/11, and really that was to highlight a prophecy in the book of Amos. It says, in Amos 9:11, it says that in that day I will raise up the fallen tabernacle of David, and all the nations of the earth will come into that tabernacle.
Hershey says that the worship is working. People are visiting the tent from all over. He says people have been healed in David's tent, saying one woman who couldn't walk got up and did so. He explains they will continue the prayer vigil straight through the election on November 8th because these diehard believers say they want to keep Jesus at the center of this political season. John Hines, One America News, Washington.